I'm here with Senior Pastor of All Nations Community Church, Nigel Alleyne, and today I'm going to be asking him questions about his opinion on the role of God in America. So just to get started, can you tell me a little bit about why you think some of these subtle changes have taken place in Washington, D.C.?
Well, I think there's a concerted effort, from the left in this country to basically change the whole infrastructure of what we believe. And I think some might say there's a group here called the progressives that are basically trying to do this. And I think they're trying to do this very, as you would say, subtly, because, Christians, if we're not paying attention and the culture continues to be orchestrated by evil forces, then I think their modus is to try to get across their agenda. So these things are going to basically continue.
Okay. Have Christians influenced the government so far? And also, what can they do moving forward to impact the government?
Well, I would say we've done a little in terms of the influence on the government. I do know that, over the years, Christians have had some type of an impact, but I think we need to basically have a greater impact in terms of, maybe look at some of what we call the left in the country, some of the people that are organizing, the strategy that they're using and the things that they're putting together. I think we could learn from them in terms of impacting legislation. I think what we do a lot of times is that we sit back and wait till things basically occur and then we try to react. But I think we need to be more proactive in terms of putting together a concise and concerted effort and really going to the task of trying to see things happen, because that's what other groups over here that on the left are trying to do in order to get their policies across.
Now, as far as voting, do you think that as Christians it's important for us to get out and vote?
Absolutely. I'm a stickler for that. I believe that all of us as part of the kingdom, the family of God, one way that we can show and make a difference in this society is to get out and vote. The last election, we had some stats saying that 78% of the Christian community went out, and I guess that would be embracing the whole ball of wax of Christendom. But then again, the question comes back, how many of those people basically voted their biblical worldview? And so even though we have many so-called Christians in the market voting, it doesn't seem to really occur that they actually voted their biblical worldview. Because I really believe that if we were to come out in full force and vote our biblical worldview, we can make a very, very strong impact on this culture.
Absolutely. Now, as our country kind of moves further and further away from God, becoming more secularized, what do you see happening as a result in the future?
Well, I don't think it's a good picture. I would say from a biblical standpoint, I don't think we should be alarmed totally, because as the scripture says, things are going to get progressively worse and worse. I think we're living in a diabolical culture that is orchestrated by sin and Satan. And so we should not be surprised that this is basically the direction that it is going in. But I think we still need to be, as I said, proactive in terms of a voice, in terms of voting. And I will come back to the words of Jesus and say that I think we must establish the words of Jesus by means of our dialogue, not only dialogue, but our teachings. The scriptures talks about going out and evangelizing and putting together the Great Commission. And I think we have an opportunity to do that and to really make an impact in spite of this culture that is crumbling and being secularized. I think we're trying to become like Europe in a lot of ways. As you well know, in Europe, the percentage of people that are engaged in religion is very low. And I think the secular progressives are trying to move us in that direction.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.